As I set out on the Camino Frances one chilly November morning, a lot of things were on my mind. First of all, it was the challenge of the 27 kilometres over the mountain to Roncesvalles. It was also the places along the route I wanted to see, the great Spanish cities of Pamplona, Burgos, Leon. I wanted to enjoy the scenery, and I was looking forward to the pilgrims' mass in Roncesvalles before dinner in the restaurant adjacent to the huge albergue. I was quickly roused from these thoughts by a phenomenon quite strange to me: lots of other pilgrims, and we spoke to each other, often about where we slept last night and where we would sleep tonight. But there are always beds, even temporary ones, in this holy year. And so I walked through Pamplona with two young students, stopping at the many fountains for fresh water. We gazed all around at the buildings and the scenery as we walked on and on through vineyard after vineyard as far as the eye could see. This, after all, is the home of Rioja. On the Camino Frances, as in all of Spain, there are hundreds of churches like the monastery at Cañas, but I was more taken by the many communities we walked through. I became aware that this was a route focused on the communal needs of pilgrims who wanted to eat and talk and share together. At times I could be alone. However, as we walked the endless miles of the Meseta, I got to know the two young students. I also met a German lad who was carrying 25 kilograms and could walk no further, and an Irish school teacher who had bought a rucksack and a flight, who found it all very painful. So as I remember this pilgrimage, I want to focus more on the friendships formed in the long stretches of the Meseta than the cathedrals of Burgos and Leon. For me, the endless miles of walking are the heart of it, when the very rhythm of walking becomes like a meditation, which washes away every care and concern. This is truly a time set apart. It is a challenge, of course, but on this route it is dotted with encouraging words from others, endless buen caminos from passers-by, and the respite of eating with others, only to fall into the deepest of exhausted sleeps. I found that on the Camino Frances I could walk alone if I wanted, but I became interested in the others, and I became aware of the mutual help that pilgrims give to each other. Passing the Bishop's Palace at Astorga, I was reminded that some say it is the communal living in albergues which is at the heart of this experience. Eating together, sleeping in the same dormitory, sharing bathroom facilities, making allowances for each other are all part of the pilgrim experience. But there are also those who don't use these facilities. My own preference, for example, nowadays, is to use the many cheap hostels along the routes. My contribution to the pilgrim community is that my snoring and getting up in the night don't keep everyone awake. But for everyone there is a daily routine. Clothes have to be washed as part of that routine, and blisters have to be sorted if they have appeared. In the evenings, some people would go to Mass, and often along the way there may be local fiestas going on, especially in Holy Week and Easter. In my experience, pilgrims are always made welcome. The Camino Frances has many places of devotion for pilgrims, both medieval and new. For some, to take a stone from home and place it with an intention at the Cruz de Ferro is an important tradition, and the tradition of helping pilgrims by giving them food and shelter remains strong along the route, not just in the words of encouragement from local people, but in the thousands of volunteer hospitaleros who staff the albergues, providing a warm welcome in all seasons, not forgetting, of course, the army of amigos who paint the yellow arrows, so that the route is clear even in bad weather. At some albergues there are facilities for pilgrims on horseback, as well as the many pilgrims who travel by bicycle, although the latter have to wait until the walking pilgrims have a bed. The Camino Frances has its physical challenges, such as the walk over the mountain at Ocebrairo, where the route enters Galicia, but the rewards of walking up that mountain and turning the views are tremendous. The 100-kilometre marker to Santiago is the spot where if you walk less you will not receive a Compostela. For me it also marks the final phase of a long journey, and pilgrims talk of the feeling of wanting to drag their feet, to delay their arrival and the inevitable return to their former lives. The final stages go through La Vacolla, the place where the medieval pilgrims washed before entering the city. Then, the modern albergue at Monte de Gozo, with hundreds and hundreds of beds, showing the scale of the modern pilgrimage. Then pilgrims draw closer to the spires of the cathedral as the journey on the Camino Frances comes eventually to an end.